Hey guys, Remy here, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on the new 50th anniversary edition of All Things Must Pass. I haven't got the vinyl and this is not an in-depth review. I'm just talking about my thoughts on the mix and the outtakes and demos and the presentation of the box set. So yeah, let's get started. So I know that this mix is basically a dry mix as opposed to like the Phil Spector Wall of Sound that came with the original album, because some people, you either love or you hate Phil Spector's production. I for one hate Phil Spector's production on The Beatles' Let It Be. I much prefer Let It Be Naked, which is a stripped down version of the album. So I was really intrigued when it came to All Things Must Pass, because All Things Must Pass is full of Phil Spector production. Some of it's a bit messy, but personally I don't hate Phil Spector's production on this album. I kind of like how echoey it is. I think in some tracks, for example My Sweet Lord and the Ballad of Sir Frankie Crisp, the echoiness kind of adds an ethereal element which I personally love. However, I did want to listen to the new 2020 modern mix, and I think it obviously sounds amazing. It's George Harrison and there's been great production on making this new mix, so of course it's going to sound good. However, just as a personal preference, I wasn't a huge fan of the dry mix. I think I still really like the Wall of Sound on the original album, so although it was interesting to hear a different production, I'm not going to buy the new mix purely because I just prefer the original. However, I will say on All Things Must Pass and Let It Down, the 2020 mix is by far superior. Let It Down is way too messy on the 1970 original, and although I still think the 2020 mix is still a little bit busy, it's still a massive improvement, so I will definitely listen to that a lot more. And I think on the title track, All Things Must Pass, George really shines. I think the dry mix and just the way they've mixed his voice sounds so much better and the instruments really shine. However, for the rest of the album, I either preferred the Wall of Sound echo, or the differences between the two mixes weren't impactful enough for me to think, oh, maybe I should buy the new mix. I bought All Things Must Pass 2 years ago as a vinyl box set. That was a lot of money, and this new mix isn't mind-blowing enough for me to justify buying another mix. I don't like buying more than one of the same album unless it's like different colour variants, so I'm going to stick with my 2014 remaster, I think it is. I'm happy with that. However, let's talk about the outtakes and demos. Whenever a big anniversary box set comes out, that is the thing I'm more excited to listen to, because I love hearing like unfinished songs or different versions of released songs, so I was really excited to listen to the outtakes. I really liked the demo of Sour Milk Sea on here. Obviously there is the Sour Milk Sea demo that you hear in the Isha demos back on the Beatles' White Album 2018 box set, but I love this version. It's a little bit more developed, it's in a different key, and I always love when George Harrison either belts high or sings high in like falsetto, and he sings in falsetto in this track, and I just thought it was really, really cool. I was always a bit sad that he gave the song to someone else. I would have loved a released version of this by him. So yeah, I was really happy to hear that. And then I liked the different version of I Dig Love that we heard, as well as the acoustic versions of Ballad of Sir Frankie Crisp and Apple Scruffs. A lot of these outtakes I was already familiar of because I either listened to bootlegs of them on YouTube, or they have been previously released on other albums such as like Early Takes Volume 1. So hearing Window Window, Nowhere to Go and Everybody Nobody in like high definition properly released made me so happy, as well as Dara Dun. It was so nice to hear songs that I know finally get their chance to shine on this album. However, even though it was no secret there was going to be previously released demos on here, I was a bit annoyed that, you know, the demo for Awaiting for You All and Let It Down were on this album, and other examples, purely because, you know, they got to go on this album when they've already been released. However, tracks like Whenever, I'll Still Love You still haven't been given the release treatment, and I'm like, why? Why did you put this song on an album again when you could have taken another hidden gem and put that on, if that makes any sense? I was really happy to listen to some of the bloopers that did make it onto the outtakes. Like, I think, what is it, take 14 of Isn't It a Pity? George is singing it's a little bit shitty, it's such a pain, and I loved hearing bloopers. I kind of wish there was more of that though, because, you know, George was a hilarious person, so it would have been really nice to have more of that, but I was still happy that they featured that. And then the presentation of the box sets, all the different kind of box sets you could get were just gorgeous. I mean, the engraved wooden box, the statuettes, the two like books about the album process, and the bookmark that was made out of wood from Friar Park, incredible. I would love to read the books if I could, however, just the mix and the outtakes, based on what I already have and my personal preference, they're not enough for me to justify buying another copy of the album, and the box sets are quite expensive, so I just can't justify it. However, I will be happily listening to it on my phone or on Spotify. So that's all I have to say about the new All Things Must Pass mix. Please let me know what you guys thought of it in the comments below. Will you guys be getting it? Do you prefer the new mix or the old mix? But yeah, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in another video. Bye guys!